Welcome to Edcite Schools Teacher 101, Using Assessments to Drive Learning. At Edcite, we know that feedback drives growth. With aligned assessment tools and actionable data, Edcite empowers educators to drive student performance. We do this with multiple tools. Starting with Edcite Schools, our premium assessment platform for schools and districts to manage formative and summative assessments. We also have Data Hub by Edcite, which is a centralized data system for empowering educators to use data in a simple yet powerful way. We also provide professional development and multiple different types of data integrations, as well as content services where you can bring existing assessments into Edcite's assessment platform and data services. During this session, we will follow the progression of an exam from creation to testing to data analysis and be able to access your Edcite account and navigate the new interface, identify the steps to create an assignment and mark that assignment as a common assessment by locking it, find questions and assessments in Edcite's content banks, identify basic components of the student experience, and finally, identify reports to analyze student data. Let's start with the teacher basics. From your teacher homepage, you will be able to see recent assignments with easy shortcuts to monitor live progress, grade, and access reports, as well as a navigation bar for multiple tabs. For today's training, we'll be focusing on Edcite's content banks, the Common Assessments tab, and the Reports hub. Your homepage automatically displays assignments that have been sent to students recently. You can organize your homepage by class or by recent assignments. You can see here we're in the class view with each class in a tile and recent assignments listed. From here, I can easily find the start code for an assignment, grade, or look at the reports for that assignment. I can also toggle to recent assignments. Here, I see the recent assignments for my class listed, and I'm easily able to click on live progress, grade, or report. I can also see assignments that have not yet been sent to my students and can assign them from here. You can see that the navigation bar is now on the left-hand side of your screen. You can use this to toggle to multiple different tabs, but for today's training, we'll be focusing on the content banks, common assessments, and reports. Content banks can be found under assignments, questions, and collections. Common assessments can be found at the bottom, and reports are found at the top. There are two categories of assessments in Edcite. Common assessments are shared with multiple teachers in an Edcite Schools account, with data available at the student, class, campus, and district level, depending on your permissions. Common assessments are either district distributed from the campus or district level, or teacher assigned, which means created and shared by teachers for teachers. Individual classroom assessments are assigned by a teacher to just their classes. These can be quizzes, exit tickets, and more. Let's talk about those individual assessments. Reminder that these are assessments that are assigned to just a single teacher's classes. A quick note that any individual assessment within an Edcite Schools account can be turned into a common assessment. We'll review how to do that in a bit. Instead of creating an assignment from scratch, I can use the Edcite item banks. Here are three types of content banks available in Edcite. First, we have the assignments. Here you can find full assessments ready to be given to students. There's also the question bank where you can find individual questions to build an assessment. And finally, the collections bank where you can find multiple similar assessments to assign to students. Let's start with the question bank. First, I ensure that I've chosen questions and then question bank. I'm now able to search by topic by typing in the topic at the top here, or by standard by clicking on Browse Standards. In either view, I'm able to look at state-released items only by selecting this box near the top right of your screen. I can then copy and edit a question, or choose a question and save it, or choose multiple questions to build an assignment. Another option for finding content is the assignments library, where I can find full assessments. Much like questions, I can search by topic by clicking on search and typing in a topic at the top. Or I can browse by standard. Once I've found an assessment that I like, I can preview the assessment by seeing the entire assessment here, or go to Student View to see the test the way that a student would. I can also assign directly to students in groups or classes, or I can customize the assignment before I send it to students. Under Customize, the assessment will open in the assignment editor, and I'm able to then look through the assessment and edit it the way I would any other assessment. The final place to find content is the Collections page. Here you can find multiple similar assignments. You could use these to create a progression of assessments aligned to released state exams, the ACT, Heritage Months, bell ringers, and much more. Next, let's talk about common assessments. Quick reminder that common assessments can either be district distributed from the district or campus level or teacher assigned. These are assessments that are shared with multiple teachers in an Edcite Schools account with data available at the student, class, campus, and district level. Today, we'll be reviewing how to make teacher-assigned common assessments. Now that I've made an assignment, I want to turn it into a common assessment. First, I click on My Assignments, then I click on the name of the assessment that I am turning into a common assessment. Now, all I have to do is toggle the assessment from draft to active and click on the green lock button near the top right of my screen. Now I can see that this is a locked common assessment. The next thing I need to do is give access to certain teachers by clicking on this Share button. Here I can give access to the common assessment by adding it into the correct shared folder. For more information on creating folders and subfolders, you can check out our knowledge base, linked at the end of this video. Once an assignment has been locked and shared into a folder, anyone with access to that folder can find it and assign it in 3 easy steps. First, they'll go to their Common Assessment tab, then go to the folder where that assignment is, and to the right of that assessment name, they're able to assign that assessment to their classes. Now that we've created an assessment and potentially turned it into a common assessment, let's look at the student experience through Edcite. Edcite provides a simple testing experience for students that mirrors the end-of-year state test. We do this because we know that it's not practice makes perfect, but perfect practice makes perfect. Students need to take their exams in a format that matches their end-of-year exams in order for them to feel supported and set up for success. Students will log in multiple ways depending on what your district has chosen. They might use Clever or ClassLink, a single sign-on with Microsoft or Google, or an Edcite username and password. Once they log in, their homepage looks like this. They're able to see current assignments, submitted assignments, and any archived assignments. Under current assignments, students can click on the box that shows the name of the assessment they'd like to take and begin the assessment easily from there. If you've given an access code to the assessment, students would click on the blue Start Assignment button and use the access code that you give them in order to start the assessment. A few quick notes on the student experience before I show you some examples. Universal tools available on end-of-year tests are also built into Edcite, so students can familiarize themselves with how to use them. Designated supports and accommodations can also be turned on for specific students to automatically be available for all assessments they take on Edcite. Edcite backs up student work every few seconds, so you don't have to worry about a loss of work, and teachers can access time-stamped backups if an earlier version needs to be restored. A lockdown browser is included with your premium school and district account, and more information about that can be found in the Edcite knowledge base. Our first example is an SBAC 2020 high school math practice test. We can see here that the student has opened up the options to speak the text, pause the audio, mark the questions for review, highlight, etc. Here's an SBAC 2020 grade 7 ELA practice test, where we can see the text along the left-hand side with the questions, both part A and part B, to the right. Of course, these tests will be formatted to match your state's end of year exam, but these two examples show some of the basics of every student experience. I also want to quickly call out this kindergarten LPAC speaking practice test because it's a great example of how Edcite can both play audio for your students and record verbal responses. This section of our training really gets to the core belief that feedback drives growth. In order for students to get feedback and grow, we need to access and analyze data. This will be a brief review of how to find our most popular reports, with more resources on reports linked at the end of the presentation. First, let's talk about where to find reports. The first place I can find reports is on my homepage. When my homepage is organized by classes, I can see reports under the assessment name in each class tile. When my homepage is organized by recent assignments, I find the name of the assignment I'm looking for, and the report button is over to the right. The next place I can find reports is on the Reports tab. Here the Report Hub opens up and I'm able to see multiple different reports for single assignments, standards, student, growth, and special reports, including a parent report. The final reports location we will review today is that for district distributed common assessments, you can open your Common Assessments tab, and then similar to the Assignments tab, you'll see reports listed as an option for each common assessment on the right. Once I've opened a report for one assignment, it's very easy to toggle between the different reports available for that one assignment. Here, I've opened the summary report, but I can also open the live progress report, as well as the grade report, the dynamic report, item analysis, and finally, the performance band report. The live progress report allows me to see where students are and how they are doing on an assessment in real time. When I look at data by class, I can see completion rates by class. And when I toggle to student, I am able to see where each student is on the assessment, as well as how they are doing. Next up, we have the grade report. Here, I'm able to easily grade by student, where I can click on each student and grade the entire exam for that student. I can also grade by question, where I can click on each question and grade only that one for each student. This is great for extended responses or questions with rubrics. Finally, I'm able to grade in the grid view, where I can move through and give students points for each question they've answered. I can also click on Grade Bubble Sheet if I've had my students test on paper and I would like to scan their bubble sheets. We also know that sometimes students forget to submit their work or submit too quickly. From the grade report, you're able to force submit or unsubmit so that students can continue testing, or you can begin grading. The summary report is one of our most popular reports, and it is often the best place to begin your analysis. When I'm on the Summary Report tab, I can look at the chart that shows me question details, submission status, and standard details. I can also scroll down to the middle of my page to look at data that is aggregate or overall, by question, and also analyzed by standard. I can then look at data by student or class if I'm a teacher, and even at the campus and district level if I'm an administrator. Now that we've seen an assessment go from creation to testing to data analysis, let's make sure we've met our objectives. We're now able to access our Edcite account and navigate the new interface, identify the steps to create an assignment and mark that assignment as a common assessment by locking it, find questions and assessments in Edcite's content banks, identify basic components of the student experience, and identify reports to analyze student data. This training was quick and concise to be respectful of your time, but there are so many more resources available to you within Edcite. Please check out the resources on Edcite's knowledge base, YouTube channel, and training center for more information on things like creating assignment folders, additional reports, and more. I'd like to end by saying thank you so much for allowing Edcite to support you in ensuring that your feedback drives growth for all students. Happy testing!